The greatest podcast for elite losers has found a new home. This is, as you can see, I didn't want to show I don't want to show the window because then someone could, reverse Google image and then know where I live and then temporary producer of the podcast. But maybe after today he'll be hired full time, depending on how much he interrupts my incredible rants. But temporary producer of the podcast, Tomas, who for some reason thinks I'm sexually attracted to him, even though he has like a hairy neck, which is disgusting. Also, don't let my dog jump up. Thinks it's nobody cares that out of the 336,336,000 people that follow me on social media, not one, that's less than 0.1% not less than one of those people hate me so much that they want to do some kind of act of rage, whatever those crimes are, where they find where I live and they Menendez brother my head. There's not one out of the three. How about this? I'll even take it one step further. Please don't let my dog jump up. You just have to move his head. You just have to say no to him. It's fine. You can let him bite the couch, but when he jumps up like that, you have to just push him down and say no. So how about this? Let's not take, and I'm not flexing, because nowadays 336,000 followers, and it was 337,000 yesterday, but I keep on posting porn stars and people unsubscribe. God forbid, a guy who's made his career off masturbating on the internet finds a lane where he starts posting about porn stars and people get upset. Is this recording?
Yes.
Okay. So I lose followers. I had it as high as 345,000, but 9,000 people said, and I assume they're not the Indian faction of my followers. Those guys probably love to see the porn stars. I actually get DM. I got a DM once from someone when I made a video with Angela White. Someone said in a DM, I will give you $5,000 for Angela White's number. He didn't say it that good. Like, his English was not that good. Neither is mine. But his English was not that good. He said, Angela White's number, $5,000. Something like that. Which is like, I don't know. I mean, if I'm going to sell my soul, I think selling my soul, the number is $5,000 because I went, interesting. I would never do that, by the way. But, so my whole point is, out of the 300 and something thousand people that follow me, one follows me because at least one exponentially hates me. And they just hate everything I stand for. And then I'll even take it further. There's at least one other person, maybe hundreds, that don't follow me, that are utterly disgusted. They think I'm vile. And you know how I know this? Because the producer of my Two Goons podcast, Eric Freddy, he told me that the editor and the editor's mother, so Eric's mother and the editor's mother think what we do, the Two Goons podcast, is disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Let me tell you something right now for the people who are so against me posting porn stars on my social media. I have not brought them to my goon cave, put a gun to their head and made them flick their bean and take cock. All these women are willing to do it. Why must my dog be so fucking 50? Thor, can you make sure also too that his dick is out right now? This is unbelievable. He pissed.
What do you want me to do about that? I'm not going to touch your dog's dick.
Hold on one second. We're going to have to edit this part out. Thor, come here. Brand new couch. Can you believe this? Double diapered and still poor babies. Double diapered, and the one dog can still get out. Too bad we don't have a good computer system or camera. What is it? What's this called? Camera system?
Camera?
Too bad we don't have a good camera system to do a 360. It should be doing 360.
No, it shouldn't.
Guy, hide your gut. I can see your gut. Please.
This is the best. This is a Netflix grade camera.
Is it really?
Yes.
Well, he just rolled out of his fucking diaper. It's unbelievable. So, anyways, here we are. Can you edit that part out? Because my dog, who is 15 years old, it's so unbelievable, this guy, where he begs to go outside. It barks, causes such problems, and then as soon as I take him, doesn't want to fucking walk. This is what I'm dealing with for the last 15 years. But my whole point to all of this, which I've said multiple times, there's at least one person based off my content on the internet that wants me unalived. Who they are, I don't know. I don't know why, because maybe they're so miserable. Because before I popped, and even today, there's still a couple people I fucking vehemently hate, but not to the point where I'm
vehemently.
Like, what did I say?
Vehemently.
And what's the pronunciation?
Vehemently.
There is at least, and don't edit this one out. There's at least one person I vehemently hate. Matt O'Brien's his name. He's a comic in LA. Piece of shit. So is his cunt wife. But the reason I say that, first of all, nobody's going to see that. And if this ever gets back to me, he's going to probably laugh. He's like, you're stupid. What? You're stupid podcast that you're doing that 60 people watch. You threw me under the bus. But one day, Matt, well, the only reason, I actually don't mind him. But when I used to do comedy in Toronto, he'd been doing comedy for a lot longer, and he used to give me the worst fucking intros. And anytime I would have a good set, he was hosting when we were performing at Yuck Yucks. He would come on stage and just shit on me. I don't know why. I don't know nothing about. I never had it. Sometimes you have you big league someone, and then they have a reason to hate you. This guy I had no relations with, nothing, just, hey, how's it going off stage? And then anytime I would do my act, because Toronto has a scene where it's unlike New York, where New York, it doesn't have a big crossover. Like New York comics stay in New York, Brooklyn comics stay in Brooklyn. Sometimes you'll have some Brooklyn comics perform in New York and vice versa. But there you're on a showcase, there's the version of the most liberal comics and the version of the most right-wing whatever the term is. We don't really subscribe to that behavior, but whatever the edgelords are performing with the theater fags. So, and what ends up happening is neither really, I don't dislike any comedians, but some people they'll sometimes I'll see a clean guy who works only clean. I don't roll my eyes, but the thing is, he's also rolling his eyes at me too. But anyways, there's at least one person who wants me unalived, and I don't want. There's nobody that I like. There's nobody I want unalived. There's some people like I said, I dislike, but even that you don't want to go through. I've learned this as I'm 45 years old. You don't want to go through life with vitriol. Hate? Is that the word? Vitriol?
That is a word.
Yeah. Okay. We don't know if it's right, but it is a word. And what's the other one? Vehemently.
Vehemently, yes.
And how did I say?
Vehemently.
Well, see, this is the problem with people like you. You'll hear the word vehemently, and then you're like, no, it's vehemently. But you knew what I meant. So therefore, if you know the word that I mean, and I didn't say it correctly, what's the fuck? Why? Now you've just given me a reason to dislike you as a person, because I know we could have just now we're just wasting time. This is just wasting time because of a correction. And I promise you this, I won't get it right forever again unless I was so embarrassed. I was running today in my new neighborhood, Williamsburg, and I tripped. And there's something I do when I run and I trip, or I walk and I trip. I throw my hands up like I'm okay, just in case someone saw that. Because, dude, watching a human being trip and not get injured is the fun. That's watching someone fall on ice and get up immediately is the fun. It's like when they fall and then they start bleeding and they're really serious. Then you're like, oh fuck. But watching someone fall and then get up right away, you're like, you fucking loser. If you're not hurt, you're a loser. Even when they got a little hurt and they mask it because they don't want to be embarrassed, you still can have a good chuckle. You're like, so, anyways, I tripped and I stubbed my dumb toe which I have stubbed many times before. I've fractured it before. But luckily, in my fridge is what Tomas, our temporary producer of the podcast, would call Chinese peptides. Chinese peptides. The same peptides that came from the Wuhan virus, the Chinese virus, and the Chinese peptides are in my fridge. Could you imagine, though? Because everyone's like shitting on the Chinese peptides. But you're like, what if they did come from Wuhan? Then they would be like super Chinese, like in a good way. Like super, like, you know what I'm saying? Like if they're like Wuhan lab-esque peptides, they would be the super ones, right? They would like literally, I'd get so muscular I would be able to start a pandemic. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, they work. People wouldn't buy them unless they work. It's the side effects you have to worry about.
Like what side effects?
We don't know because they're undocumented, because they're Chinese and unregulated.
Whoa, what a racist. Can you believe that in this day and age, 2026, in my brand new condo, turn around the camera, take a picture of the place as we leave. Brand new condo. And I tour with Ryan Long. And I might have talked about this before on the podcast, and if I have, fucking turn off your phone, you fucking cunt. Have you never podcasted before? You would think someone like yourself doesn't have a hit podcast in the porn world. Thank you, Thor, for ruining the energy of this. I was talking to Ryan Long, who I tour with, well, a great comedian, a great friend, and you know, because I'm being fancy boy with the chains and like the new fit. I have a new fit for when I go out, and he explained to me that understated wealth as a comedian is very important because people in the audience want to know that you're just a regular guy. But let's be honest with you, the prices of comedy clubs are so expensive. If I was paying $25 to $45 plus a 2-drink minimum, I would hope that the comic on stage can at least afford rent in his own apartment, right? I would hope that the comic on stage could afford nice fits because I'm paying a lot of money to try and get my dick sucked tonight. I would hope. It's New York comedy. You hope. So this understated wealth, here's what happens. Now, if it was a comic who was born with like a silver spoon in their ass and just super rich all the time and couldn't relate at all, that like if a comic was like, I don't know, Prince William telling jokes, I was like, fuck you. But I spent 13 years, and for the first 5 years, I never made money doing comedy. And then the last few years, I was like slowly making $5,000 to $6,000. And then finally, the last year, I made $30,000 in Canada, and then I moved to the U.S. So I would never make money. I remember a time when I wanted to do a club set, and stop me if I've told this story, as you're on your phone, probably not doing research for my material. But I was a year into comedy, and I had never done a club set, like in a comedy club. I've been doing bar shows, I've been doing produced shows, but I've never done like an A-level club. And I wanted to do this A-level club, and you could call in on Mondays, and you could get a spot. And I got a spot at Absolute Comedy in Ottawa for like a Wednesday in the next month. You call ahead on the Monday, they give you a spot next month. The problem was it was in Ottawa, which is 4 hours away from Toronto, Canada. So I wanted to do the 7-minute club set. Next month in July, I think I was about 7 months into comedy, I took a Greyhound bus. And at this time, I just got done playing poker I was like grinding out for the previous couple years, so I had a little money left, and I wasn't working, so I spent all my money.
What's a little money?
When Full Tilt Poker went down, I had $13,000 in my bank account.
Okay.
In my Full Tilt account.
Right.
But then Full Tilt came up, then they got PokerStars bought Full Tilt Poker, and you could retrieve your bank account or whatever was in your account. And I still had $13,000. And by this time, I was doing comedy, and I had now like a $13,000. So all I could do is just focus on doing stand up my first year, no job or anything. But that $13,000 went fast, and I had by this time 6 months in, probably only a couple $1,000s left to my name with no job in sight. And I was taking the bus to Ottawa, Canada. So I take the bus to Ottawa, Canada. I do my 7-minute set. And it was amazing. My first club set, I murder. It was incredible. It was one of the best clubs in Canada. It was like a kill box. You can if you can't kill in that club, you can't be doing comedy. You know, Charlie Manuel once said, because he was the hitting coach of the Cleveland Indians during the run when they had in the 90s when they opened up Jacobs Field and they broke the record for sellouts. Charlie Manuel said, if you couldn't get your dick sucked at that time, what did Charlie? He said, if you couldn't get laid, I wish I knew the expression. Now it would have been so much better. It's hard to concentrate with this little fat fucking pig on my lap. If you couldn't get your dick sucked in the 90s when you were with the Cleveland Indians, you were gay. Something like that. I knew what the phrase once. I knew what the phrase once was. I once knew what the phrase was, but I can't now. It's hard to podcast and talk as a dog's panting on your goddamn lap. But my whole point is, I take the bus to Ottawa. I do the set. I had a great set, and then I did an open mic afterwards. This is when I really love comedy. But these were the times I was really starting to titty fuck chicks off Craigslist. There used to be a time on Craigslist, the good old days, when you could buy a couch and get an escort for a very cheap rate. And I found this one chick for $75. I was going to meet her before the show, but just the way the timing was, so I ended up getting to meet her after the show. And I just remember, $75, for those who don't know prices in the escort game, is extremely cheap. That is like bargain basement, you're going to probably catch a disease prices. It was a quick visit, QV. Most escorts who are professional escorts do not offer a quick visit. Quick visits are like generally the lowest of the lows. It's like a 15-minute show and go. You know, you just show up, meet out, you hopefully bust quick because that bitch is watching the clock. So she offered me a 15 minutes for $75. This is like I had no money left. I was running out of money. So I go there. She had incredible tits. But I do remember she had a sunken-in face. Her face was sunken in. I assume meth, but HIV is on the table. Like, HIV is definitely on the table. And I was so broke and so, like, miserable at the time because I knew I was about to get a job, but I did just kill on stage. So I was, like, in a good mood. That when I busted between her tits, and her tits were great. Everything else was disgusting. I wish there was, like, a way we could do it over, you know, those condom bags, you know, that you can put yourself in, like, a silicone bag and just have her tits out. Their tits were that
Wait,
good.
condom bag?
I think so. Maybe it's something from Naked Gun I saw in the 80s. But her tits were so good. But I just remember this. To this day, it's distinct memory. After I got done blasting on her tits, my population pace, cover them, great areolas, she went to the bathroom to wipe it off. And I saw that $75 on the counter, and I legitimately thought, like, I should just rob this bitch. I need that $75, and she definitely needs it too. But at the time, I would have used that money on food or maybe another titty fuck. She was going to use it on meth or whatever diseases she had. So by me robbing her for $75, it would have been like justified and helped her out. And I think the only reason I didn't is because I think I had to call a cab. This is like even before Ubers. I had to call a cab. I didn't want to just like wait, you know, like just standing outside some sketchy neighborhood in Ottawa, Canada. And that was that. And then I went to the bus station and took a 7-hour bus home because it was the overnighter that makes stops in every little small shitty town. And that was my story of titty fucking. You know, you would think, by the way, you do something like that and you stop hooking up with hookers. After that, I slept with hundreds. And even to this day, and then we'll leave on this point. He's so annoying. We'll end on this point. Even to this day, I still like shop. I still window shop. I still go to the escort sites and window shop. And in Vegas this weekend, I went to LA to the Two Goons podcast, and then I went to Vegas for 3 days of poker. Ended up breaking even to the last night. Got killed in a pot, blind versus blind cash game. He had aces. I had ace queen. Lost $800. But that's whether. That's neither nor here. What is it? Whether nor here or there.
That's nor here nor there.
That's nor. What is it?
That's nor here nor there.
That's nor here nor there. That's not the correct way to. That's,
okay, sure.
That's not. That's.
Oh, that's neither here nor there.
I told you. I knew it. You fucking big.
Sorry, you're a genius. I'm retarded.
Well, but you also big dog me like, yeah, sure.
Big dog.
What is it? Neither.
Big dog.
What's it?
That's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor there. But you did say it. Whether what was your saying about what? That's whether here nor there. And you thought you were fucking hot shit, Gen Z kid. You fucked it up too.
Jesus Christ.
Can you get my dog to stop humping your leg?
She smells it smells the female dog on my leg.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'm about to go meet an escort who I've been looking at for years and I could never afford her. We do a FaceTime call. She shows me her big booty. She shows me her incredible hooters. And you know what ends up happening? I get to Vegas on the Wednesday. I send her a text, completely ghosted. She was going to charge me $1,000 an hour. $1,000. And the problem was that would have been like the absolute post-nut clarity because I would have busted within 5 minutes because I have been looking at this chick since 2018. I've been following her. That would have been the quickest nut I've ever had in my life. And I would have already handed over the $1,000 and I would have been miserable. So by her ghosting me, I saved $1,000, which I ended up plus 200 because I only lost 800.
What's the real lesson here?
The real lesson here is, I don't know, just try and titty fuck as many whores as you can. No. Anyways, that is it for this podcast. This is the greatest podcast for elite losers. Don't let them jump, please. Thor, please don't jump.
For your dog.
And, yeah, check us out. Please like and subscribe.